It's Wednesday, so that means Phenology walk time. And every Wednesday, Adam leads our Phenology walks. So Adam, what is phenology?
So phenology is the study of specific life cycle events in nature and their relationship to seasonal changes in the environment. So these are things that occur on predictable cycles in both plants and animals. So plants, you might look at things like when flowers bloom, or when trees develop buds, or when the leaves change color. And in animals, it's things like mating seasons or migrations, or when insect larvae hatch and swarm.
So here at Letzinger, what have you been doing to track phenology, and what are we actually tracking?
So in this study, we are tracking basically the blooming time of flowers. So this started back in 2014, and it's been kind of taken on by different staff members since then. But we have 8 paths, permanent transects that throughout the Letzinger property that we walk once a week, and basically record everything in bloom, and keeping track of the seasonal changes in flowers. You know, what flowers are blooming like from like spring to early summer are going to be different from like midsummer and then now. And then also like how those bloom times change from year to year. It's a very large long-term data set that we're building.
And you've looked at some of the previous year's data and have been kind of graphing that out. Have you seen anything interesting so far out of that data that you've looked at? I know it's a very short amount of time that you've looked at it, but have you seen anything of interest so far?
Interesting things would be like there are fluctuations, like when the first flowers start blooming versus like when they stop, when like the last flowers stop blooming. So like the total like time span of bloom times changes from year to year, and then certain species show up some years and then aren't present the next year. So it's different compositions of species depending on which transect you're on. So here we have one of our signature fall blooming flowers here on site. This is Helenium autumnale with the unfortunate common name sneezeweed. And you'll notice the specific epithet autumnale refers to autumn, so it's known for blooming this time of year, where you won't see it at all earlier in the year. And you can see it's just coming down from peak bloom. See a little less than half of the total flower heads are still showy. Like a lot of them are starting to turn brown and go to seed. Here's another one of our nice fall flowers. This is the closed bottle gentian, Gentiana andrewsii. And this is usually one of the last flowers that blooms. I think it was the very last flower we recorded in bloom last year.
There's a eastern carpenter bee cheating, stealing nectar from the base of it instead of actually pollinating it. The eastern carpenter bee is a little too big to fit inside. Oh, and there's another one too.
So as we're documenting like all of the flowers that we see in bloom here on site, we compile all this data together, and then I can make charts like this to kind of visualize what we're seeing in the field, because it's hard to, get a mental picture of everything just on a weekly basis. So you can see for a chart like this, for each transect, I make a chart where each bar indicates one individual species and how long it's blooming. You can see the charts laid out in 30-day increments. So starting from the first blooming ones, going all the way to the last ones in blooms. And then we can compare those with based on different years or even different transects in the same year.
And so if a teacher wants to do any kind of phenology tracking with their students, what can they do? How can they participate?
So there's a really cool program. It's a community science program called Nature's Notebook. It's a project managed by the National Phenology Network, whose whole job it is to track and catalog this data and make it available to people. So it's pretty easy to use because it's made for citizen scientists. But essentially, you make an account, and it teaches you how to make phenological observations of both plants and animals. So if you're tracking plants, you might track flower bloom time like we do, or tree like bud break, or like leaf out or leaf drop. Animals, you can track things like pollinators or bird migrations, or different, or just presence absence data. So it's pretty versatile, and a lot of things you can do with it.